Morning, everyone. Welcome to our 2024 TCG Investor Recap. Four main focuses for today's video: Pokemon, Magic, Flesh and Blood, Sorcery. I'll touch on some other ones at the end. As you can see, I've reinvested in whiteboard markers, so the whiteboard videos will continue in 2025. Now, on to the criteria for today. What we're mainly going to go over is any kind of breaking news or any kind of big events that happened with this certain TCG, certain things we feel about it, certain products that kind of caught our eyes or are noteworthy. And not in this video, we'll make later this week, probably Thursday or Friday, we'll make a 2025 plans, all of that video. So, to proceed, Pokemon. I would highly recommend, if you haven't, I made a video less than a week ago, and it was just called How to Invest $5,000 into Pokemon. This video kind of gave you my ideas of what I thought was popping right now. And I would check it out if you don't have anything and you're just now getting into this. If you're still in this, I'd go watch it, and I'd love to know what your opinions are. Where we are right now, it's very much a hold, buy some stuff, sell a little stuff. Mostly I'd say a hold with a slight buy. Not really selling much, to be honest. Now, what was the hot products in 2024 for Pokemon? Obviously, we had Surging Spark and Twilight Masquerade. Now, I don't know if I'd count... I'm pretty sure the EV set for us, I know it's already out in Japan, but I'm pretty sure we're not getting it until next year. So I'm not going to really count it, but obviously that set is already pre-ordering at a very high price. Me personally, I'm staying away from it. If I can find deals where it comes down to like $60, $70, or if there's like those whatever supplementary packs, any way I can do that, that's probably how I'll go about doing it. I'm not going to be really heavily going in on those ETBs. One, because just it's hard to get a high quantity, and there's just better plays. So personally, we're staying away from that. But that's a story for next video. Twilight Masquerade, huge. If you watch the channel at all, you know I was basically screaming at the top of the sky about how amazing Twilight Masquerade was going to be. Still a heavy proponent. Again, not buying any, but definitely not selling any. Overall, Pokemon had an extremely healthy year. 2023 was the buy like crazy year, and even early to mid 2024 was a heavy buy period. Right now for me, Pokemon is, I'd say it's like a 75% hold, right? With a little bit of buying. And again, I've preached it before, but I'll talk about it last here. I think Japanese sealed is a good deal right now. And I think if you don't have any Japanese sealed product, there's no reason you shouldn't be exposing yourself to a little bit. 5-10%, even if it's just 5 to 10% of your overall Pokemon or TCG, I think it's there's no reason not to. Again, Crimson Haze, Dragona Paradise, whatever the Shining Treasures, whatever that, those are sets I would highly recommend looking at. 2025 is going to be an amazing year for Pokemon. We'll get to that, like I said, in next week's video. But overall, 2024, I'd give it like an 8.5, almost like a 9 out of 10, honestly, for Pokemon. We'll get a little 9 out of 10. Great job, Pokemon. Now we move to Magic, and I don't know if we can say the same, but I think we can. Somewhat, not really. Now, how did the year for Magic start? Honestly, there's been so many debacles with Magic, I can't remember them all, and I couldn't bother to look them up before the video, but what do we have? We have the Jeweled Lotus. Trying trying to think if they did anything else stupid in 2024. I'm sure there's like some Amazon dumps they did. But other than that, what did we have that was just, I mean, we got to give them credit for Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings collector. What are they, like $1,500 now? I just want to shout out Louis from Kitchen Table TCG. I hope to goodness that man didn't break down. There's a video of him breaking down boxes of Lord of the Rings collector's editions because they weren't selling the second printing, because no one wanted them because the One Ring was pulled, da 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 da, and you couldn't get rid of these boxes for like $300 a box, right? And people were having to crack them looking for like Elvish Bowmasters or something like that, Orcish Bowmaster or something. I don't remember, but anyway. How badly, I mean, the guy, he's in the business, so, you know, like, he's experienced this before, I'm sure, but how much of an L do you think, like, it's got to be like $100,000 L that he probably took on cracking all of those. I don't know. God bless you, Louis. God bless you. But Magic, if you don't know, I have a love-hate with Magic. I think it's the second most fun to play. I think Flesh and Blood is more fun to play, sorry. But I really enjoy Magic. And I think 2025 could be a very interesting year for Magic. They're tightening their collector print runs. We're starting to see collector products besides Lord of the Rings and Fallout actually perform decently. The older stuff still isn't doing too crazy. I think Neon Kamigawa Dynasty is just, or Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, however the heck, I think it's just about to hit over 300 finally, and that's like a 2 or 3 year old set. So there's progress being made on the collector's products. We're starting to see some of the older set and draft products kind of hit that 130 mark, so they're recovering. I want to, when we're on Magic here, I want to talk something about this Bronze era, and I want people to be very careful. If you go on TCG, and this is just something you should know in general for any TCGs and how, when you're getting into this stuff, just to be careful of. In my other video, I kind of told you guys that while I was looking at TCG Player, and a lot of these Bronze era Magic boxes has kind of jumped from like 100 to like 200, 250, or like 150 to 300-ish. But when you look at the sales through data, it's actually not that much. It's just everyone took their boxes off. So what I was doing is I was tracking, and I have been, and there was a big one that finished last night. There was a gentleman who was selling 6 boxes of Khans of Tarkir, and they were just a straight up bid. And these boxes on TCG Player right now are like 230, 240. But on eBay, all 6 of these auctions ended under 140. I think the highest one got up to 147, but then the rest of them ended in like the 130s, which is cheaper than what, like, boxes were like but there was like $20 shipping, right? So it's like it's less than 160, 170, right? So be careful and don't just assume that, oh, these boxes are now 230, 240. Like, no, at auction, these boxes are still ending way below $200, about at what they were at, right? So just be a little bit cautious. I personally would not be buying any of these Bronze era boxes at over 200. If you can get them even, I'd say, like, with shipping, taxes, everything, if you can get them around 180 and under, and you want to be exposed to that kind of thing, I think that that's a good price, but I would not be paying over 180 at most. Especially, I'll give you an example, Born of the Gods. That box went from like $100 a box to like $250, and I know that there is plenty of that stuff out there. It's not scarce. It's not like, just trust me, right? These prices are going to come down. It's, again, guys, it's the exact same thing that happened with all those bannings that they did for being racist. It was like 2 years ago with the individual cards. So just be careful. Now Kaladesh, that will probably stay up. I'd say around like the 600 pluses. But these older boxes there's a ton. Just be careful with that. So Magic. We'll make a video. I haven't made it in like how to invest 5K Magic video, so that's what I'm gonna make next. I'm gonna give the Magic the old IGN score and give it a 7 out of 10. Even though I think that's generous, but I do think that they've made some decent moves. Just be careful with this Bronze Era stuff. That can be a little dangerous. Don't think that that's all just going to the moon now. But there you could play in there. I do recommend like getting in auctions on eBay, because you'll find huge arbitrage on like where these auctions are ending and like what people are listing them on TCG Player. So now Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood has had an interesting year. 2024, it's been a roller coaster for Flesh and Blood, but I think and I feel that 2025, and I'll talk about this in my future video, but 2025 has the potential to be one of the greatest years for Flesh and Blood, and I think 2025 will be the year that Flesh and Blood proves itself. Won't go any past further than that. Let's talk 2024. We had some wonderful sets. Mistveil. I was heavy hitters. I loved the Art of Heavy Hitters. I know that I don't want to say it was like a dud set, but definitely not as like. We had sets like, what was it, Bright, the mech set. I know that one wasn't very popular. But I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times more. If you want to start a TCG singles business, or you just want to start selling on TCG Player or eBay, preferably TCG Player because singles, Flesh and Blood. The singles of Flesh and Blood are the most liquid thing in TCGs besides Pokemon. For an indie, it's the most liquid indie TCG. It's insane. The singles, excuse me, sell like crazy. And you're almost, I don't want to say guaranteed, but you're almost guaranteed to like at least minimum break even when you're cracking on like a case. Like if you crack a case, I've almost never like lost money on cracking a Flesh and Blood case. If you can actually sell singles and you're willing to sell almost every single that's like over like $1 or $2, you will almost always at minimum make your money back on selling singles with TC. And it's just good to get a business going and just learning how to do it, get the repetition down, figure out how to actually mail cards. I love Flesh and Blood for that. That's how I kind of got started. That's why I have a love for it. Now, it wasn't as big of a movement as I wanted, but it happened, and I think again it's gonna be even bigger. But the older, we're losing our marker, folks. The older block. Wow. Don't buy you brands. They're terrible. Sorry, you brands, don't sue me. What in tarnation? Well, anyway. Flesh and Blood. Original sets. Arcane Rising. Crucible War. And then not really so much Welcome to Wraith. The Welcome to Unwraith Unlimited, if you don't have any, get them, but there's a lot of them. It's more so the Crucible War, Arcane Rising. These older sets, they kind of proved themselves in 2024, and 2025. Again, I gotta stop talking about 2025, but Flesh and Blood. All I'm gonna say is if you don't have any Flesh and Blood, when it comes to times like this where the Pokemon market, there's really not any huge plays. Like, obviously, I think Pokemon's the blue chip. It's the best. But if you've got some Pokemon, you've kind of saddled up with your Pokemon, and you want to get a little, not risky, but you want to take a little wild, right on the wild side, or you want to try something a little bit different. You want to dab your toes into something a little bit different. you want to get into that indie TCG meme coin lifestyle, Fab is the most secure meme coin there is. The gameplay of Flesh and Blood is phenomenal. Like I said Magic was my second favorite gameplay. I have this mix, and I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this. I have the biggest mixed feelings. This pen's useless. I don't even know why I'm carrying it. I have the biggest mixed feelings when it comes to them making some sort of Flesh and Blood mobile app or game. Like, I know obviously you can do tabletop simulator, right? I know that that's a thing. But I love the idea that they want to keep Flesh and Blood being played as, in person Flesh and Blood, right? But it's 2024, and I feel the same thing about Sorcery, right? Where Sorcery is one of those things where it's like you want to play it in person. It's about the physical art. It's about collecting. But man, digital games to get people hooked. I think Pokemon and Magic do it perfectly, right? Like, you got to have a digital platform to get the kids hooked and all that, and then they want the physical stuff, right? It's just another kind of method to get them hooked. So it's the one thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want, and I don't think they will, but maybe they will if they get big enough. But maybe they'll get big enough they don't have to. But Flesh and Blood, it's stuck around. It's not going anywhere. And if you truly believe in it, like you believed in Pokemon and Magic, I don't know if it'll ever get to those heights. In fact, I know it won't ever get to those heights. But it could get pretty dang close. And I think that Flesh and Blood has a chance to be up in the tiers of, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, stuff like that. I also made Flesh and Blood make a dang anime. Get the weebs. You gotta make an anime, bro. You gotta make something. We need an anime. Flesh and Blood anime. You're welcome, James. You can thank me later. Do it. You gotta do it. You have to. There's no other option. So that's what I would say. If you're not familiar with Flesh and Blood, I got a few videos. Go watch them. All I would say is, if you want to dabble in some meme coins, instead of going and speculating on some weird like Pokemon promos and nonsense, go speculate on some Flesh and Blood sealed. And then if you that doesn't work for you, you just crack it and sell singles. Sorcery. I have not done Sorcery the justice it deserves, and that's a shame on me. And I apologize. What is it, Eric? Now, okay. I've been wanting to make like a super clickbait video where it's like Path of Exile makes a trading card game or something like that, where it's like obviously like straight clickbait, but it gets people in, because I've made this analogy 1,000 times before. Path of Exile, like what Path of Exile did with Diablo and how it is like the new Diablo, right? It took Diablo 2 and it's like, the amalgamation of everything perfect and whatnot. I think that like Eric is doing that with Magic. Like Sorcery is to Magic what Path of Exile is to Diablo. If that makes any sense at all, it's how I feel. The art's beautiful. The Frank Frazetta alphas. Oh, I've got an alpha box here that we cracked. I think this was the first one when they were still like on eBay for like $300 for pre-purchase, and half of my boxes got canceled, but we still got a few. But the point is the heart, the soul, the longevity. I don't know if that's something too. Like I said with Flesh and Blood, if you wanted to start a TCG business, you could get cases of Arthurian Legends for like basically less than $100 a box. And I would essentially recommend you doing that and cracking it for singles. Basically what it comes down to, guys, after I've rambled, Fab, I give that an 8 out of 10. Sorcery, I give a 9 out of 10 just because they killed it this year. I mean, they did phenomenal. It's been an amazing year, guys. I've rambled too long. We'll make another actual video of 2025, what's coming. If you want to know, again, what I would actually recommend you invest in, right now I have a Pokemon How to Invest 5K, and I have a Flesh and Blood How to Invest 5K. We will make a Magic How to Invest 5K. We'll make a Sorcery How to Invest 5K. Real quick too, so I'm going to rattle these off the top of my head because I know this is getting long. Star Wars. It was cool when it first came out. It's done for. One Piece, if you're wanting to know about One Piece. We got rid of all of it, sold it all off. Thank God. I still have singles. I still have some like promo tournament winners, stuff like that, singles, but all the sealed's gone. None of it's recovered to the price we sold it at, so we did well. Other than that, 2024, amazing year. We're looking forward to 2025. Have a good one, guys.